Hollywood and beyond.
Our mission to
Good morning and welcome to the morning show. Good morning, Andy.
Good morning, Bart.
Today is the 24th anniversary of the attack on America, 9/11. 51 degrees in Jackson, a sunshiny day, and that's the kind of day it was in New York City.
Yeah, absolutely.
Unbelievable day. Do you remember where you were?
Yeah, I was a sophomore at Siena Heights, and the technology, of course, was what you had was the morning news channels. But yeah, you remember, and our, the talk of campus was that we were being bombed really early, and I do remember one of my friends, and he ended up being my wedding, Steve Fellows. I vividly remember him saying that it was Bin Laden, like early on in that. So he was kind of up to speed on some of that. But yeah, just an unbelievable, tragic day for our country.
Yeah, I was at the Y, and the TVs were on the Today Show.
Sure.
And Matt Lauer and Katie Couric were just coming on with news of what they thought was a small plane accidentally flying into one of the Twin Towers, but obviously it was completely different than what we originally thought. We called you, come home, schools let out, and we just, the whole country in shock.
Yeah, I don't think anyone really knew what to do that day. And I just remember everyone just glued to the news for months and months and months. You just constantly, that's all we talked about. That's all you watched on TV. The months of just the live feed of the wreckage being cleared, just staggering. And you've been to New York City, obviously, in fact, before and after.
A year. I was in New York City on the first year anniversary of 9/11, and we walked around and actually went to the fire station, the one that was closest to Ground Zero, and the whole city, it was just adorned with New York patriotic displays. It was the feeling in the city was just it's just indescribable. And again, 5 years later, I was there, and it felt the same. It took the city years to really recover and get back to some sort of normalcy.
Yeah.
And then earlier this year, I was at the Pentagon, and they don't allow any photographs at the Pentagon. There's a memorial, 9/11 memorial, at the spot where the plane actually went into the building, and at that site is this chapel. And this is the only photograph the only time that you can take a picture, and that was this chapel, which was at the site of where that one plane crashed. Today there are memorials in New York City, Washington. The president will be at the Pentagon today, and also in Shanksville, Pennsylvania.
Your brother obviously is in the Air Force, and do you remember talking to him around that time and kind of what I'm sure he was all hands on deck at the time.
Yeah, I think just everyone, wherever they were, whatever they were involved with, it was such a staggering effect on everyone in whatever position you were, wherever you were geographically. It changed your life.
Yeah, Americans thought that something like that would never happen to us on our homeland, so definitely changed the entire world for sure.
We have a couple of things happening today in Jackson. It is the Spirit of America blood drive happening at the American One Event Center. They were asking for people to make appointments, but walk-ins are welcome, and that goes until this evening. And at the Cascades, the Tunnel to Towers folks are doing a special program at the Cascades, a patriotic tribute in solemn memory of 9/11.
And of course, yesterday, just another terrible day for our country with the assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus, just exercising his freedom of speech right, which is staggering to see. It was just horrible. And what's even more frustrating is, you know, the hate you see on social media on both sides, and no matter what, an innocent life was taken, how you can celebrate it or how you can talk about, you know, it's weird. You have adults with families, respectable people, and then they have this open trash dialogue to each other on social media, just hating each other. And it's sick. It's sickening. So, yeah, everyone's got an opinion, and that's just what it is. Unfortunately, it's your opinion. But yeah, horrible, sad day yesterday, and there's just no place for that in our country. But unfortunately, it happens every single day here.
Yeah, in the last year we've had several examples of political violence. Of course, the 2 attacks on President Trump. We've had the attacks on the lawmakers in Minnesota.
Right.
We've had the attacks on Governor Shapiro in Pennsylvania, and then yesterday. And it just, everything needs to be dialed down.
Yeah, it's crazy. And another school shooting. We're 5 to 10 days into, you know, the 2025 calendar year, and just like last year, as we're a few days into the school year, we're talking about school shootings and things like that. And it's crazy how many people, you know, we talk about it, you know, we're 2,000 miles away from both locations. Think of all the people that are victims of mass shootings that were not killed or were not shot. Anyone there, anyone's family, they are victims of mass shootings. It's just terrible.
Well, we all are, and I think,
Yeah.
you know, every kid that, you know, after those shootings at that Catholic school in Minneapolis a couple of weeks ago, it just, you know, any parent of an elementary school, any parent of any school student,
Yeah.
you just, it's on your mind all the time. And the reporting yesterday, of course, Charlie Kirk's assassination dominating the news, but the school shooting in Colorado was on, oh, by the way.
Right, because we're so numb to it as a country, you know. You know, I was talking to some people yesterday, and they didn't even know that there was another school shooting, because again, they happen so often. Absolutely awful.
Yesterday we talked about the state budget. You know, there's only 2 states in the whole country that don't have a budget.
Us in Alaska.
Pennsylvania. And there are only 3 states in the whole country where it's a split legislature. Yeah. And of course, Michigan and Pennsylvania.
Who's in charge of our state?
I don't know, but already we have heard from some school groups that layoff notices have already been issued because of the standoff. Last week, several thousand construction workers, union members, and business leaders were at the state capitol urging lawmakers to find a solution. The differences between the Democrats and the Republicans and the governor all center on road funding. And it's what to do about the roads. And the governor has been adamant with her original campaign pledge of fixing the damn roads.
You know, you've lived here since the late 70s?
Yeah.
How have the roads been? Were they crappy then?
Well, they're crappy everywhere. I mean,
Right.
roads, they last, they have a life, and they have to be fixed. And but yeah, that's
Our roads are not impassable, for Christ's sake. Like, let's get this figured out. Unbelievable.
What we
yeah,
need
I
is,
encourage you to call your lawmakers, Democrat or Republican, and say, why can't you guys get this together?
Yeah.
The kids in our community are suffering, or going to. So I
They
don't know.
will. Well, we're going to see the government shutting down, and it would be in a dramatic fashion. State workers would not be paid. State parks would close, law enforcement services, and seemingly mundane activities like food safety inspections would all end. And what we really need is just a professional approach by the legislature to a budget process, and I think that's the least of it. This is their only job, and if they're mandated, which they've ignored, they're mandated by law, by Constitution, to have the budget in place by July 1, and they just blow it off.
You know, it's funny, I haven't seen any appearances by any politicians recently, so maybe that's why. Let's move on. I think we could use a little bit of a laugh, don't you?
Sure, yeah.
Guess where I went to dinner last night?
I don't know. Where did you go to dinner last night?
Benihana.
Benihana. I didn't know we had a Benihana here.
We don't have one. We do not have a Benihana. I was in Dearborn for Ella's volleyball game, and it was Ava's 15th birthday, and they wanted to get hibachi, which, you know, you should probably get a reservation if you're doing something like that. You don't just walk in. So it was about a 20-minute wait. And then we had another little wait. So by the time we started eating, that's Raphael, which we ended up becoming really good friends. He was in a TikTok with Ella and Ava. But I did something really dumb. I mean, I know you're shocked. So we get our drinks. Me, Ella, and Ava, we've got our Diet Cokes, and there's a couple other drinks for the other people at our table that are up at the bar. Service was a little slow. And I turned around and I said, excuse me, miss, would you mind grabbing those drinks at the bar? We've been waiting here for a little bit. She said, I don't work here. Oh, boy. And was my family embarrassed?
I bet.
Yeah, and then I had to, you know, smooth that over.
What made you think she worked there?
A lot of things. She looked like the manager. Turns out she was a school teacher. So anyways, we were at the Benihana until 10 p.m. because if you go to a place like that, it's a 3-hour deal, and got home late. So
wow,
yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Well, you know,
Hashtag Benihana Dearborn.
I do have sympathy for you mistaking someone for a manager, because many times, so
it's happened. Someone has asked me.
It happens to me a lot, because I'm one of the few people in Jackson that wears a tie. So if I'm in a store or somewhere,
Sears,
you know, people come up to me and they ask me for, and I'll help them. I will be glad to help them. I've
that you do. You look like you could manage a Sears.
Yeah, yeah. I am the manager of the Sears.
Oh my gosh, unbelievable! Yeah, so that was embarrassing, very embarrassing. And there was another couple that was seated at our table, and they were celebrating a birthday as well. So just a regular Wednesday night for old Andrew.
Wow. A restaurant in Washington D.C. called Hush Harbor has announced that they will now have a no phones policy. No phones.
Good.
Can't bring a phone in. So there's going to be a locker like at a concert, and no staff can have a phone either.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
so it's starting yesterday.
I like it. I like that. Jackson YMCA has their Pay the Day going on right now, and today it's only 11.
The 31st is gone.
Oh, Ben Tripp with the calendar update. So you pay the day of the month is the amount you pay for the month of September. Best deal ever. Today, $11. Tomorrow, $12. The sooner you go, the cheaper it is. In person only, visit jacksonymca.org. I also want to give a shout out to the Jackson Coffee Company. And Friday, they're celebrating their 19th anniversary, which means 19% off for all customers, and the first 100 customers get free cupcakes. And I know you talked to Brian yesterday. Is he making the cupcakes?
No.
Store bought.
Bakery made. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's got that bakery. I forgot.
He's got a bakery. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Tomorrow morning we should go down and celebrate.
Yeah. Guess which area of I-94 is the highest crash area? All of I-94.
I mean, I drove it yesterday.
I'll tell you what, 172, exit 172, the Weber's exit.
Yeah.
The Weber's exit.
That's because of that 20-mile-an-hour merge.
Yeah.
Coming off a 3-lane down to 2 with a double highway split.
This fall, MDOT is going to be installing a high friction surface to both east and westbound lanes, 1 mile on both sides of exit 172 to slow people down and give you more traction on wet surfaces.
You know, my least favorite part of 94 East is right before you get to Ford Lake. You know, kind of swoops down, and there's an exit on the left, and there's always people crashing. And
my least favorite part is State Street in Ann Arbor, where suddenly everyone slows to a crawl for no reason. Who's on the show
We have
today?
a wonderful show lined up. We're going to get things started with Stephanie Baker, who is our Emergency Preparedness Coordinator at the Jackson County Health Department. And Stephanie joins us right after this.